Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well. My name's Evelyn from an Empath's Guide Book Reviews and Writers Corner, and I'm here today doing a discussion on the topic, is genre important? I used to try not to think too much about genre because I felt like it placed constraints on the writing process and that perhaps it would make my writing too cliched because I'd be trying to do all these things that were expected in a particular genre, and in that way I'd end up being a cop-out and just sound like everyone else. And that is how I felt largely until I came across this book here on my bookshelf. I'm scared that it will just make everything fall. No, but it didn't. And this is a writing textbook, if you're not already familiar with it. It's called The Story Grid by an editor called Sean Coyne. And in it he talks about the importance of genre, which I think opened my eyes to many things and made me realize if you're familiar with what kind of genre you're writing, then just by being aware of the genre conventions, by knowing those rules, you can actually deviate from them and be more original if you wish. But it's really good to be mindful of what readers do expect from the genre that you're roughly working in, just so you can keep them happy and satisfied and give them a story that surprises them enough to be enticing and original and make them want to come back for more, but also doesn't kind of stab them in the back with these twists, like this genre twist, or it's something completely unrelated to what they thought it was going to be. All books make promises to the readers to do with the genre, and that can help you realize as a writer when you're straying a little bit too far away and going too left of center from your story. So for example, if there is a fantasy book that starts off with a clan of peaceful flower fairies that, lives and it's all rainbows and butterflies, you would not expect reading that book and being interested in that kind of beginning for the book to end with like a true crime serial killer who kills hundreds of people in this massacre. That beginning and that ending is completely unrelated. So I kind of use genre in my writing as a way of figuring out what readers expect and establishing those kind of loose promises at the start of a book and carrying through with them, but also deviating from genre conventions enough so that I'm bringing a part of me to my writing as well, and just trying to create something that doesn't already exist that I would like to read. But don't think that you're kind of shackled by these things, like you have to follow all these rules or follow this formula and tick all these boxes, because if you do that, then chances are a lot of the time you're going to have tropes, you're going to have cliches. Having this kind of open attitude to genre has helped me a lot in my writing. I didn't really like reading young adult novels. I think number one, just because it's like so trending right now and I just feel like it's the cool thing to do, so I naturally stray away from it. And secondly, because my first experiences with young adult were Twilight, for example, and then later on 50 Shades of Grey, because they were so popular and I had friends who loved them and I just wanted to see like what all the fuss was about. So I read them more out of curiosity as a lover of books and a writer, rather than like me wanting to read them. And Twilight for me was just like abysmal. And the same, even worse for 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, I get why people like it, but I just thought the writing was really poor. Their characters were one-dimensional, and the sex scenes were written really badly, so I didn't really get it. And because of those experiences, I judged young adult, and since then have hardly read any kind of young adult novels until I took one of the stories that I'm writing to my critique group. A girl from my critique group, Claire, said that like she could see how this was marketable because it was like young adult and it was like this coming of age romance young adult story, and I was just like, yeah, she's totally right, that is what it is. And I hadn't even realized that I was writing a young adult like YA romance thing, because I don't read that kind of thing. But for whatever reason this idea came to me, and I like writing that and I enjoy it. and so I need to read more of it if I'm going to write in that genre. So clearly it does have some pull over me. So I think that we can't really control our interests and the things that come to us, and I've realized that you shouldn't just kind of steer away from something just because it's popular. I mean, sometimes there's not much reasons to find why it's popular, like my experience with Twilight, I didn't get it. But it's not good to judge an entire genre or an entire category or age of books just because you didn't like one book or two books in that kind of category. I wouldn't do that to books for adults, so I shouldn't do that to other books. The same is true of middle grade fiction. I would say that I don't read it much, but some of my favourite books are middle grade fiction, like the Fablehaven series or our beloved Harry Potter, since everyone loves that. You know, I have no way of knowing how reading all these different genres and reading widely will influence my writing, but by like having different elements and reading in each genre, I think that naturally makes your writing more original because you're not like boxing yourself into one compartment, and also by doing that you kind of draw in a wider audience, I think. At the end of the day, it's all art, and I honestly think that good art is good art, and if it speaks to you in some way, then that's really the only thing that should matter, rather than what age it's written for, or what genre it is, or whether there's a book that you really didn't like that happens to fall in that genre. I think genre is important, but maybe not for the usual reasons that we think. So yes, that is probably it for the Writer's Corner today. Thank you so much for listening to my musings on genre. I probably said that word a million times in this video, but sorry to any French people out there, I'm probably grossly mispronouncing it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to hear more of my writerly musings, feel free to please like or to subscribe to this channel. I can't wait to share more of my ideas with you. If you'd like to leave a comment letting me know your own thoughts on genre, please feel free to leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful. Until next time, take care, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you. Lots of love. Bye.